My hope for the writer strike is that it will inspire a efflorescence of reality programming, and that we finally, because of the need to fill more hours, get the fulfillment of the promise of turn of the century reality depravity. Like people who remember, like, from 1999 to like 2004, the kind of shit that was on network television.
Fear Factor,
eating hog anuses. A show called The Swan, where a bunch of people with like some sort of bodily dysmorphia get surgery and then are put as contestants at a beauty contest. That kind of thing. You know, Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire? Joe Millionaire. Although
Joe Millionaire was great.
It'd have to be freaking Joe Billionaire. Am I right? But it looked for a minute like, oh, we're going to have the Running Man. It's going to happen. But then sometime during the second Bush administration, like, everybody collectively stepped back from the cliff, and it's like, you know what? Let's not go nuts here. The Bachelor, Survivor, that'll do. But now, you know, we're going to need a lot more shows. So I want to see a bunch of people who signed a waiver just being like fed to zoo animals, like on the CW. I want to see a version of The Swan brought back. But the new twist is they have the beauty pageant, and whoever loses has to have the surgery reversed and go back to being ugly. Like, oh, sorry, I guess we fucked it up. Never mind. Here's your old face back.
I would like to, like, in the, you know, scraping the barrel of human depravity. I mean, I guess it's not really so much human depravity, but I would like to see a return of the Fox Network series Man versus Beast.
Yes.
Is, you know, a series of athletic competitions between, like, who can run faster, a man or a horse. But, you know, we'll handicap it by hobbling the horse before it starts running.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, it should be like a regular guy versus a regular horse. If it's a regular guy versus a race horse, it's just bullshit. It's like if you made a horse like solve math equations against, you know, Stephen Hawking, wouldn't be that fair, would it?
How about Man versus Beast versus food?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, Matt, one of the Man versus Beast competitions.
Yes, a hot dog eating contest.
Was the hot dog eating contest between a Kodiak grizzly bear and Kobayashi.
My favorite part of that, I still remember it to this day because it's just so perfect, is that this was right after Kobayashi had burst on the scene and just destroyed all the American.
Kobayashi fever was sweeping the nation.
So they had him competing against this bear. And that was the only contest where the nationality of the contestants was noted. They had little flags next to them, like the images. So it's like Kobayashi, Japan. And because the bear was from Alaska, he's American. So when he just opened his mouth and just shoved 50 hot dogs in with like the flick of his wrist, that's like, yes, USA back on top.
USA. Yeah, I remember that. It was over in a second. The bear ate 50 hot dogs with just like, that was it. But it was done.
And it wasn't long after that way they basically ran Kobayashi out of hot dog eating in America because they couldn't handle it anymore. They could not accept a Japanese eatsman as the greatest of them all.
Now we have Joey Chestnut.
Now we got this fucking Fugazi motherfucker that they brought in. They never went head to head at Coney Island, Chestnut and Kobayashi.
So
at least Chestnut never beat him head to head.
He has Mickey Mouse eating titles because he's ducking the best competition, which is an Alaskan Kodiak grizzly bear.
Yes, he's like Mayfield. He's Floyd Mayfield. Shut up. He's Floyd Mayweather picking his competition.
Team Money, Money Team. I would like to see, in addition to like truly depraved, sort of like 80s dystopian, like
Running Man.
The Running Man,
where
Paul
it's integrated into the DraftKings website.
Yes,
so you can watch it on a DraftKings like streaming tab while betting on the outcome.
What was the I think it's in RoboCop. It's the game show where people have to climb up a rope and there are like dogs.
That's in Running Man too.
yeah. That's in Running Man.
They got the Dobermans at the bottom.
The Dobermans, yeah. See some great shows like that. I personally, I mean, I said this the other day, but I think during this strike, I mean, who knows how long it's going to go on, but the longer it goes on, the greater the necessity for these streaming platforms and studios the greater the necessity will be for them to just directly steal movies from alternate universes and release them to, release them directly into Mind of Jason's letterbox. Because, like, I what's this show I see? Like, it's called The Citadel. And It's got Rob Stark and someone else in it. And I swear to God, Felix, on my TV, when I turn it on now, it's advertising this show that it's got to be from a different universe. It's like not real, never existed. They just put it out there like, it cost us $200 million. And it's like, yeah, to turn on the time portal to go steal it from Universe 2. I'm sure that it's a big electricity bill.
If that's the case, then we know who has access to the portal, and it's the Russo brothers, because that's another Russo joint. And those guys are the people who are, like, one of them had some sort of Howard Beale talking to Ned Beatty experience with a computer, because he's been completely like hollowed out by the AI, and he's out there saying they're going to make AI movies. You're going to be able to go on your TV and type in Casablanca, but it's me and Kate Upton, and she sucks me off, and then you press the button, and then you get to watch that.
That is,
and now he's making these movies. I think they might actually already be using AI on these Russo brothers projects,
like the Gray Man, the Gray Man,
Citadels.
The Gray Man is like, it's not even like a movie that's in a TV show. It's like one of the movie posters that was in GTA 3. Like just a background piece of clip art that no one spent that much time on.
But
that is not, I don't believe that is like, the Gray Man was, if it exists at all, which I'm still not sure it does, it's only been watched by guys having a very uncomfortable Thanksgiving with like their father-in-law. It's just a way to burn 3.5 hours.
Yeah. I mean, Netflix brags about that. Like, I remember when they came out with Bird Box, the Sandra Bullock movie, where it's like, you can't look at the thing because it'll scare you so bad that you kill yourself. And they released it over Christmas, and they were like, 500 million Americans sat down and watched Bird Box. And you can understand, yeah, okay, we're sick of talking to each other. Let's stare at the screen. It's like, this is a new thing. It's like going to the movies, but we don't have to leave the house. But like, the thing about Gray Man that gets me is, yes, obviously procedurally generated slop, but at least previous generations of slop, a movie about a secret agent would have like kind of a cool name, like Tex Briscoe, something like that. Like, Infinity Sanction. The Gray Man.
It sounds like what it is.
It's not a man. It's like, no, it's cool because he's like, you don't even notice him before he kills you. He's so unremarkable. Do you want to lead with that?
Matt, now I know The Gray Man seems like an odd title for a movie. It's like, a boring movie.
Gay Man. Also, it's right there. I mean, I'm sorry. I know that it's childish, but you're leaving that out there.
So I know it seems like an odd name for an action movie on Earth 1. But keep in mind that, like, in the deal that they inked with Earth 2 to just directly pilfer already extant movies in the alternate dimension, they have to retain the naming. It's the royalties. It's like this is what they're striking over in Hollywood right now.
It's all standard boilerplate. I just want to say they grabbed Gray Man from the alternate universe with the neutral planet from Futurama.
Your neutralness. It's a beige alert. If I don't survive, tell my wife hello.
Yeah. No, if only it were that. Unfortunately, in Earth 2, where all these movies are being produced now, thanks to the writer's strike, Earth 2 has been consumed by the gray goo caused by a nanotech disaster. Yep. So, in fact, it's called Gray Planet. It's Gray Earth because everything is gray over there. It's been consumed by goo. But they still got some great movies that we're going to be seeing soon. Red Notice 2. I can't wait for that to come out. But
these movies we're talking about, these are Earth 2. It's just the future. And what is the portal? That's right, AI. I think they're using it already.
No, I think they're
already using it.
And Matt, like you brought up that the Russo brothers said that like within 5 years we're going to have AI generated movies, and use the example of like you can rush home from work and like turn on Netflix and say like, hey, I'd like to see me as Indiana Jones, and like I know like the streaming revolution, which is like really the big like technological disruption that's really changed the entertainment industry and is the reason that the WGA is on strike right now, because about residuals from like, you could write a TV show that gets streamed 1 billion times and get paid like a check for like $200 or something like that.
There's no residuals.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's just the idea now that like it'll become even more personalized, where they're just like, oh, I can cast a movie and with myself, or like I like just put prompts in and it'll like spin out some version of that for you. Is like, I know we made fun of the metaverse before on this show, but this is like a new level of like pushing me into like the absolute brink of nihilistic depression.
Yeah, but like imagine how exciting it is, like the movies where you could just superimpose your face on the movie character's face. That's like the 1963 Civil Rights Act for people in the borderline IQ region, as we say. Like if you're one of America's many like prison guards for a job like that, this is a great day for you.
Yeah. And I gotta say, seeing some of the replies from the feral swine in the blue check digital peasantry, who are all thrilled about this because they love the idea of disruption and the idea that like, hey, like ChatGPT can already write screenplays. And like the thing is, like we all know that that's bullshit. Like, I mean, it's going to be like, I just want to shout out our friend Jason Grote, who is a professional screenwriter, who said that like, look, we all know that like AI cannot write a joke or a screenplay that's even halfway that's going to interest anyone, as much as these people think that it might be technically possible. But the thing is, like, it will destroy the entertainment industry. But I think the disturbing thing about this strike is that the people in charge of the entertainment industry are more than willing to do that. Like, just as like they did to retail and a dozen other industries, it's just like full on speed run now. I've just loot the shop of everything before it goes under. And another thing that really disturbs me about this, and like the idea that people are more than willing to cede basically human culture to an algorithmically generated responses, is that I think, like, as we've talked about in the past with Marvel movies, like when we did the Eternals episode, I'm disturbed by like a good chunk of our population now is so artistically illiterate that like that actually would be good entertainment for them to have an AI generated movie where a producer just puts in prompts about like, comic characters or nostalgia or just certain things that they press a button in your brain. And then when you see it, you're like, oh, that's art.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it boils down to the fact that the stuff that is repellent about AI is only really revealed by, actually paying attention to it. If all you need is a vague stimuli, colors, sounds that you can just let wash over you, and more than anything, this is way more important, have an opinion about, like what it is, so that you can talk about it afterwards, or even while you're watching it, which is a lot of the time. The details, like, whether it seems like there's a human subjectivity being represented, or how many fingers somebody has. You're not noticing that. It doesn't matter if sitting down in front of it and like being in its presence, is not part of your engagement with it. If it's just this hum, then why would you spend any unnecessary dollar making that input like more detailed or more specific, more considered? Because it's not going to be absorbed.
I honestly I don't see the difference between like the Eternals or the Warcraft movie, or like really a lot of movies. Whatever. Like, there's no difference between that and like an AI movie. It's already real. There. To the extent that like AI is just like, it's a Markov bot that's like steered in the right direction by people making 30 cents an hour in Malaysia next to Ian Miles Chong's cubicle. It pretty much is here. It's just going to be exactly like that.
And Matt, to your point that like the things that make AI repellent are only apparent if you like have a mind to pay attention to it. I think everything about that makes AI repellent is what makes it attractive to people like Elon Musk and studio heads and like the presidents of like, the people who run these streaming services. Because as we're seeing with like the whole Twitter thing and Elon Musk, it's like, these people really don't have any need for human culture that they feel that they're not in like total control of, or that like it doesn't reflect to them that they're cool and in fact like an artist themselves. And if it doesn't do that, then they're happy to just break it and just like like take their toys and go home, or
they resent
or just generally like just shit on the very idea that like writing or painting or just like writing a song, a screenplay, a book or whatever is like a unique human skill that like is what separates us from, I don't know, like animals or computers. It's like the only thing that makes
the algorithm and the market have spoken. The only things left that get remunerated to any degree are innovation and thinktrineering in the digital space. That is the Promethean fire being brought to humanity. Everybody else is just should be in awe of that. And if your job is to create content, it should be singing the praises of these god men who walk amongst you. And to not do that is to frankly spit in the face of the Almighty, which is telling you if this was more important, you'd get paid more.
Yeah, and to the extent that like you really can't do anything without in terms of the entertainment with TV and movies without a screenplay, is I think what it just greatly frustrates these people. So they can proletarianize the entire field or profession, then all the better. And then what's more, I guess for like the tech people, I just think like they love AI because if they feel like they're like, oh, I created this godlike computer thing, like that's as good as writing a song. And like they can now feel like that they are like Da Vinci or whatever.
Yeah, they are. They're our gods, and that's why it's easy to understand their response. But like people who are in any kind of regular employment, certainly in the knowledge economy, or to think that like this process is not coming for them, that like this is not the universal experience of being someone who exchanges money for their labor, like skilled to one degree or another, like the de-skilling and the precarity that's baked into everybody's fucking life. And that's why I do got to give some respect to the crypto grind set dropship guys, because as absurd as their vision of autonomy is, it at least is realistic enough to recognize that if I'm going to be all in on dog eat dog capitalism as like the permanent state of humanity, then my God, I cannot work for anybody else because I will be turned inside out eventually. I have to have an independent income stream, or else I'm not going to be a human pretty soon. If you don't have that situation, like what the fuck are you rooting for, man? You are the chicken, like just getting excited when the fucking the farmer comes out with his fucking hatchet.
Like I hope I get to go to the tree stump today.
Oh, he's so base. Look at him cutting the heads off all these chickens, these bitch ass fucking blue-haired, blue-combed chickens. Look at him cutting their heads off. Oh, way to go, farmer. You're doing a great job. Oh, he's coming over to get me. He's probably going to tell me how cool he thinks I am.